Well, not my usual sunny day for taking the car out for a run. As you can see, it's a little wet. However, let me explain further. So, good morning on this rather wet April day. It's been remiss of me, I haven't been YouTubing recently regarding the Shadow, and I'll give you a wee update on that. But we're off to Mulsanne Motors today. I've just taken the car out of its winter storage. It's heading over there for a service and just a general look around the car to make sure it's ready for the new season. The car has been in storage since October, late October. I only took it out at the end of March, much to everyone's condemnation, because I've been told Silver Shadows really should be kept going all the time, and I agree, but I think I've said before, here in Scotland we put a lot of salt on the roads during winter, and yeah, I just didn't want to see this beautiful machine rust away over the years. So anyway, for whatever reason, it's been sitting there since March. I brought it out about a week ago from my depot down in Ayrshire and brought it up to Glasgow in preparation for coming through to Dalkeith to Mulsanne Motors today. And I was the thing that struck me is how ready the car is for the new season. When I went down there, I had a number 2 brake pressure light on when I started the car up, and I thought the brakes didn't feel 100% right. I checked with Mulsanne Motors and they said it was fine to drive it over with that warning light on. When I picked it up from a Glasgow depot, brought it home in preparation to take it to Dalkeith, no brake pressure light at all, so no lights on in the dashboard. The only thing that concerns me is the oil pressure constantly goes straight to high as soon as the car is started up, so that tells me there's something possibly wrong with a sender or something to do with the gauge, and not the fact that it is actually high. So I'll get hopefully that addressed. Apart from that, the car has been going fantastically well since I've done maybe about 60-70 miles, and it hasn't missed a beat, so I'm really pleased as to how it's sort of performing at the moment. The other thing I was going to say, it's been a while since I did my last vlog, and I had the car up for sale, not because I didn't like it, I just hadn't been using it, and I just felt it was a waste, so I did try and sell it tail end of last year at a reasonable price, a lot less than I bought it at, but very little interest in it, so I wasn't going to give it away, so I'm happy to keep running the car. I've bought another weekend car which I'll talk about in another video, but so you know, I'd rather keep it than give it away for some daft price. So that's where we are today, heading over to Dalkeith, Mulsanne Motors, leave the in a horrible wet grey dank dreich day, as we say in Scotland. So we're heading over there, probably leave the car with them for a day or two, let them wave their magic wand round it, and hopefully get it back and find it's in fine fettle for the season ahead. So that's the plan anyway. YouTube channel on the buying and selling, it has been quite interesting. I think between the 4 videos there's been just under 20,000 hits on it, and just under 200 subscribers. So I never set this out to attain anything in YouTube, but it's obviously hit a particular note with a number of people, whether from the comments that I've had, they've either had a Shadow, or we've been looking at a Shadow, or just find the general content quite interesting. I ain't no professional blogger by any manner of means, and as I said, the reason for the whole blog was anyone who was considering buying a car like like this, and was as green as me with regard to mechanicals and what you look out for and what you avoid. I just felt that this gave them a shot in the arm, a start at looking at how to go about this. So hopefully it's done that. Comments have been 99% positive. You get the one comment from people who seem to think you're showing off, which I think I replied to him saying, like, if I wanted to show off, it would be a brand new Rolls Royce worth £170,000, a Phantom or something. So by no means has the channel been set up for people to see, you know, my new shiny car and, you know, me promote that. It's genuinely for people who are thinking of buying one of these and maybe not sure about the step. And I have had questions from people asking me how much does it cost to run a Silver Shadow, and I've written back saying I'm not the best person to tell you that, because I've spent very little in the car in the year and a half that I've had it. I've maybe only spent £300, £400, £500, and that was to do with the rear suspension, which I actually should have got sorted out when I bought it, but never noticed it was sitting a wee bit lower than it should. So apart from that, it's been, you know, spent nothing in the car. So here we go. It'll be interesting to now review the car 18 months later and see if there's any other cost associated with it. I certainly haven't done a high mileage. I'm currently sitting, I can't remember what the mileage was when I bought it. It was in the low 40s. It's now 42,887, so hardly done any mileage during 2022. Tends to be a weekend car, and when the weather's good, and hey ho, this is Scotland, you know. Every weekend's not glorious sunshine and 25 degrees, so you know there is a period between April here and October where you can enjoy the car and you get a fair bit of mileage and usage of it, but we still get a bit of bad weather during the summer as well. So it's not every weekend you've got the car out. So as I said, take it over. We're taking it over to Mulsanne Motors at the moment, and I will come back to you once I have some information to tell you about how I've now visited Mulsanne Motors, and I've had my yearly service, so I'm probably in a better position now to give some people an idea of what it costs to run one of these things. It's been a question I've been asked on the YouTube page, and to be fair, up until now I haven't been able to really give a formed opinion on that, principally because from day one the car was bought in a very, very good condition, and I've emphasised that to a lot of people who are buying one of these cars. And because of that, the only money that I've spent with it, I bought this in October 21, and in that period the only thing that I've had to do in the car since then is to raise the back suspension, which cost a few £100s. Now that wasn't so much something which went wrong after I bought it. I should have actually realised that when I did buy it and ask it to be done, but hey ho, when I bought it to Mulsanne Motors, as you've seen in the previous YouTube episodes, I got them to raise it, and that's fine. So I've never spent another penny on this car. I tell a lie, I did buy some brake oil from Flying Spares. It cost me £12 for a litre, and that was prior to me putting it away in October. So that's my total spend in the car. So anyway, it's come back from a service from Mulsanne Motors, so what eye-watering bill have I been hit this time? Well, to be fair, not very much. The overall service cost me £900. the only thing that really required, apart from the service, the only thing what really the car I had to look at in the car was the oil pressure transmitter had to be replaced. That was because when I turned it on, the oil pressure gauge went straight to high even before I turned the engine on, and that was something which Mulsanne Motors remedied for me. Now, a wee bit of an issue, not so much an issue, when I brought it home it's still raising to high, so I've spoken to Ross at Mulsanne Motors and he's getting a further replacement on that. But in answer to a few of your questions, I've spent £900 in looking after the car in the best part of 18 months. So to me, there is an indication of what I did at day one, buying it properly, looked at by a Rolls-Royce engineer. I know nothing about cars. That bit lifts up and there's a big thing in here which turns the wheels and does all sorts of things. Now, if you are a mechanic, it may not be the route to buy one of these cars. You could be, I've seen various videos where people can do various repairs on such a car. It's old technology, so it's not as if you have to have a computing science degree to look after a car like this, but you still need to know your way around an engine, which is, you know, I drive the things, I don't really work on them, so I need an expert to tell me what's to be done or what needs to be done in a car like that. And looking back now, after a year and a half, I would say I'm pretty happy that the route that I took was to employ somebody to look after it, get the work done, and hey ho, a year and a half later, I spent £900 basically on a car, including the service. The only thing that's gone wrong with the car, as I said, oil pressure transmitters had to be replaced. So that ain't bad for a car that was built in 1979. When it came out of storage, everything was fine. Funnily enough, it had I think I said earlier on, it had the brake 2 warning light came on, and I thought, well, it's been sitting for the best part of 4 months, and what do you expect? I know people keep saying, don't leave it lying for, you know, these things have got to be driven, don't leave them lying for 4 months, and the weather wasn't great and I did leave it lying for 4 months, but hey ho, started first time with a trickle charger attached to the battery during the winter, and that was the only thing that concerned me a wee bit, the brake 2 light coming on. And to be fair, by the time I brought it home and I had to travel it, I had to take it through to Dalkeith, which is about 50 miles from where I stay. By the time I started in the journey to Dalkeith, that light was gone. Some of the seals in the brakes and the rear were leaking and they had to be replaced. And at the same time, just replaced the ones in the front as well. So, you know, that's regular maintenance, you know, it's not a lot of money to spend in a car like this. So I'm delighted. I had originally thought of selling the car, principally because I don't have time to drive the cars that I've got. I've got this. I've got my electric Volvo, I've got my Harley Davidson, and I've got a wee camper van which I go away in weekends, and getting around them all, you know, what a terrible chore it is, you know, to use them. See these people like Jay Leno who have a garage full of about 20 cars, unless all you want to do is look at them, I don't know how you get around driving them all. Anyway, the fact that I was thinking of changing, buying something a wee bit different, originally considered maybe a Mulsanne, and then decided not, it's just too big. I had an Arnage before, and parking it was always a bit of a, and saying that, you know, this is a big car, but anyway, I went off the Mulsanne and I got something else which I'll show you. So, this is what I have at the moment. This is a Morgan Plus 6. Has a 3 litre BMW engine in it that weighs about a tonne and goes like a rocket. So this is my summer car. This video has nothing to do with that. I'm really just bringing you up to date as to why I was originally going to sell my beloved Silver Shadow, which I don't think I'm going to do that now. I'll hold on to it as long as I can. It's the thing I would say about the Silver Shadow is that there's another chap on YouTube, I think it's something called 2070. He does reviews in various cars. He was talking about how investing in classic cars is not a particularly good thing to do. And one of the reasons that he gave for classic cars not being as attractive as possibly they were is that they appeal to certain age groups. Now a car like that, I remember, they've been out since the 60s. Yeah, 60s. I mean, I was a wee boy and I loved one of them, and I remember a chap won the football pools in our town, and he had one of these, and I remember it passed me one day and I went, you know, wow. I think I even said to my mum, one of the days I'm going to buy one of these. So they were an iconic car from my childhood, and that's possibly why it's always been there. And I don't know the profile of people who want to buy one of these or like them, but I would imagine probably a lot of us are in our 50s and 60s and remember them as and I'm sure, to be fair, also there is younger people who enjoy or like a car like that, classics. But as we get older, there's less and less people probably attracted to these cars, albeit that they're always a sort of classic. Somebody will always want them, but yeah, there's less and less of us as we get older who believe that is an iconic car from our childhood. So maybe that's why it's not maybe as popular. And, you know, to be fair, if they're not looked after, as I've said many a time, it will cost you a lot of money. So don't buy one as an investment, is my advice to anyone. If you want to buy one, drive the bloody things. You'll love it. But when I put it up for sale, much as I dropped the price on it from what I bought it at and thought it was a very good price to sell such a car at, didn't get the interest. I'm happy to keep it. I'll drive it during the summer. Maybe it's not as much as I did last year, but yeah, I'll drive it, and I'll look forward to driving it. So yeah, we've still got it. It's still in great condition. Stay tuned. I'll keep you updated on any further developments as we go through the summer on the car, okay?